We're going to continue our lessons today talking about solar and lunar eclipses. You can see the pictures on the screen here, and they indicate the sequences that each one goes through as it continues through its pattern. The first one we're going to look at is a solar eclipse. You'll notice on the screen we have a solar eclipse where it begins with the sun in full, then it begins to eat away, and finally it goes to a total eclipse, and then it's done. It will actually skim back through in the opposite direction, though it's not shown here. So the biggest thing that I want you to notice on here for solar eclipse is the sequence. You'll notice on the side I have the sun going from fullness to total back to fullness. Here you will see, and these are not to scale, so please keep that in mind, but you will see that the moon, and this is a new moon, the moon is in between the sun and the earth. We are located here on the earth, so we can always think about what are we seeing when we are looking at these eclipses. So our earth has to be the point where we're looking from. Well, we're actually on a solar eclipse. The name says it is the sun. So we're watching the sun become totally dark. Well, what's the only thing that can actually cause that? It is the moon. And it has to be a new moon because there can't be any light. It actually makes the sun disappear. What we see around that darkness is the corona. It's the light that's shining around it. But from Earth, we have the moon, and then we have the sun. If you go from the other direction, it's the sun, the moon, and then the earth. So for a solar eclipse, what you need to know is it's the sun, the moon, and then the earth. Now our next one is a lunar eclipse. And you can see the sequence of the moon going through from a partial to where it starts to turn reddish color, orange or purple sometimes, and then it becomes totally that color, and then it starts to go back towards a full moon. And this one occurs only at a full moon. Now in this instance, you will see that the sun is now here. Then you have the earth. We are again on this earth. We are looking. So we start with a full moon. That full moon begins to go into shadow because it starts to enter the earth's. The sun is shining, the light is going across it, and here the sun's light can't reach it, so it becomes dark. As the moon enters completely behind the earth, you can see here that it will turn this odd color, but it is totally covered. And then as it begins to peek back out, the darkness remains where the shadow has covered it from the earth, but then the earth, the moon begins to show up again with light, and it becomes a full moon at the end of it. So again, on the lunar eclipse, it is the sun, the earth, and then the moon, because the earth must make the moon dark. The only thing that can happen is that the earth's shadow causes the moon to turn dark. Now, for that to also happen, it must be a full moon for it to have a shadow, because in a new moon, it's already dark. So you have seen the two eclipses, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. So the biggest thing, remember, lunar eclipse, the sequence is the sun, the earth, and the moon. When we get to a solar eclipse, It's the sun, the moon, and the earth. Thank you.